Good morning, Jyoti.
Let's see. Hold on. I gotta. Can you hear me now?
I can hear you. I could hear you before, actually.
Okay. Well, this will be even better because it just let me know if it's too loud. Wonderful to see you. So when did you get back, Betsy?
A couple days ago.
Huh?
A couple of days ago.
A couple of days ago? Fantastic. Yeah. Are you jet lagged?
Not anymore, no.
Great. Yes. It's good to have you here.
Is Will gonna... I don't know how, Will is here too. I don't know how to let you see him in the screen.
Hi, Will. So nice to see you and have you be joining us in our practice. And did you guys get to work with the videos at all?
No, unfortunately, we were having too much fun with my brother and sister-in-law.
Well, I think that you'll have no trouble, Betsy, because you're very familiar with most of these practices. Will, if there's anything that seems confusing to you or not doable, it'll all make sense when you watch the other videos. So just do the best that you can and follow along in whatever way feels joyful in your body. If there's something that doesn't feel right for your body isn't open to, or you get tired, just relax and just watch for those parts. And it'll all make sense once you start working with the first two videos, if you're a beginner at the practice. So I'm glad you're here and enjoy. Yeah, just set up the video as best you can. Right now I can see the very top of Will's head and I can't see it all.
There's no way you're going to be able to see both of us.
I'm not going to worry about it. Because I trust that you know exactly what you're doing, Betsy, and you can also be a nice model for Will since he's newer at this. So that's fine. I'm not going to worry about it. And Marianne is joining us. Fantastic. And Dory, good morning.
Good morning.
Hi. Kathy, nice to see you. And Natalie, good to see you. We've got quite a group here.
Natalia.
Natalia, I'm sorry. I meant to say Natalia and Natalie came out. So excuse me.
I prefer one of those names much more than the other.
Yes. And I think I know someone else who's named a bunch of other Natalie. So that's why that could have slipped out. So I apologize. Natalia is with us and my mom is here. And I don't see your face, Mom. So if you can get that, remember what you did last time.
Oh, I look like hell today, but otherwise.
All right. We all do on Zoom.
I don't know how to do this. Wait a minute.
Okay. All right.
Start video, not mute.
Start video. There you go.
Yeah. Yes, you got it. You got it.
Okay.
Right. I'm going to put the original sound on, so that sounds a little bit better. How's the sound of my voice? Is it too loud, boomy, distorted? It's good? Okay. And if I have the guitar on there, just having a little guitar sound for the end of our practice, did that sound too loud for you?
No.
Not good.
No, it's okay.
You could hear it? Okay. And Barbara is joining us, which is nice to have you here. So it's good. We've got quite a group today. I'm happy to see you all. And we are recording. Good, so we will have that. How are you all doing with the videos? Did anybody work with last week's video?
Yeah.
We have our two Barbaras on. Hi, Barbara and Barbara. Good.
I found it. I thought there was going to be a separate link, but then I found the sort of master link, I guess, for all the classes.
So you mean for getting on the Zoom today?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's all the same. It's the same link. The different links are the ones for the videos. So that each time I send the newsletter, I will send you, like I send a basic newsletter for all of my yoga students, and you'll get those too. But for the gentle yoga newsletters, which usually will say gentle yoga, class 3, class 4, you will see the link to the video of the class that we just did, and you will see a link to the getting on the Zoom, which is a different link.
I
All right.
remembered it in the end that there was a meeting link and I found it. So
Good.
I'm fine. So
I'm
just
glad, and I'm glad you're here.
ignore the email I sent just now.
Oh, I didn't see it yet, so I will, I'll figure it's all been resolved. All right, everyone, let's come into our steady and comfortable yogic seat in your chair. Long spine, remembering to have your sitting bones at the front end of your chair. I'm going to put you on mute so that we don't have any background noise. Mute all. Okay. And let's begin. I'm going to put myself in the spotlight here so you can see me. All right. Good. So let's begin with just using the breath to let go of whatever it is that we were doing before we entered into our practice together, into this sense of sanctuary together, and open up to the gifts and the benefits of this practice. So find that long and lifted spine, rooting down through your tailbone and up through the crown of the head. And with a deep breath in through the nose, sip in as much breath as you can and draw it all the way up into the chest. And we're going to hold that breath for a moment. Just hold for a second and feel, you might feel a little increased heart rate and feel a little heat and warmth in the body. Feel that breath lighting up your cells. And then exhale, release with a sigh. Make a little noise with that exhale as a letting go breath. Letting go of everything that's on today's to-do list. Letting go of anything, all the conversations you were having and anything you were doing before we came into this space together. Another deep breath in, sipping in, inviting the breath up into the chest, and see if you can sip in a little bit more through the nose and draw the shoulders up to the ears. Clench the fists, get really, really tight. Pull the arms tight into the rib cage. Scrunch up the face, tight, tight, tight. Shut your eyes and get your face really scrunched up looking. Since all of our eyes are closed, we can't see how ridiculous we look. Hold, 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 and then let go with a sigh. Make a little noise. And feel that flood of release like honey moving down from the face, through the shoulders, through the arms, and out the fingertips. Sometimes it's nice to do the opposite of where we want to end up, that tense. So we want to certainly not be tense, but we invite it in momentarily so that we can feel the joy of release and letting go. And that's really the theme of what's happening seasonally at this time of year. As we see the leaves falling, there's a lot of letting go. As we see the fruits of the vine releasing and the vines withering, it's all about letting go. Another deep breath in, fill all the way up into the chest. See if you can sip in a little bit more breath and draw the shoulders up, clench the fists, scrunch the face, get really tight, make yourself look really ugly and tight. None of us can see you. Everybody's got their eyes closed. Don't peek. Tight in the neck, tight in the chest. Draw the navel in and up, tight in the belly. Clench the buttocks. Nobody can see you do that. So get really tight, tight. Clench the thighs, curl the toes, tight, 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 tight. And then let it all go. Feel that delicious flood of release. Like a river moving through you, emptying out, softening around the face, the jaw, the muscles around the eyes, the shoulders. Spread the heart a little wider and let that release glide down the arms and drizzle down the arms and out the fingertips. And just feel the aliveness and the energy. That's prana moving through you. And on the next inhale, let the arms rise to shoulder height and reach long and away as if you're trying to touch both horizons on both sides of you. Soften the shoulders down away from the earth. So notice if there's any insidious tightening, hunching going there, and soften the shoulders, reach out wide, and feel that as you reach the fingertips side to side a little wider, you can feel it expanding through that heart center, that energetic place right in the center of the chest. You can even visualize it as a blossoming flower. It's often depicted as a lotus, but you can envision it as any beautiful fall flower. And then turn the palms up, and I'm going to invite you to circle the wrists with a gesture of flicking off, of letting go. So circling the wrists and flicking the fingers in a gesture of offering something out. Just like this is a time when nature's doing a lot of letting go and releasing what is finished. What is something in your life that you can offer out and let go? Maybe just something for today that's been on your mind, or something in general in your life that you're ready to say, okay, I'm done with you. I'm ready to create space for something new. So find some circles in the wrist as you invite, as you open to that quality of letting go. What are you releasing? Sloughing off. And then circling the wrist the other way, find the gesture of calling in with your fingers, like you're saying, come on, I'm ready for you. And maybe you don't know what it is yet, so just opening to possibility in this gesture of calling in, opening up to new possibility, new potential. And maybe there's a particular medicine that you're needing right now. Strength, creativity, courage, healing of some sort. Call it in, using your mind and your breath to invite it in. And then arms reach to the sky, reach through the right, reach through the left, and feel that lengthening through the sides of your torso. Notice if you're going into a shrugging of the shoulders, and see if you can drop them down. Palms come together and invite them to come down right through the center line of the body to the heart. Let the thumbs rest on the sternum. And then from here, I'm going to show you one of my favorite mudras, a yoga position for your hands, called the Vajra Pradama Mudra, the mudra of unshakable trust. Interlace your fingers and turn your thumbs up and just press your palms into the center of your chest, like you're making a little shield for your heart. Thumbs are pointing up, elbows out to the side, and give a little tug as those fingers are interlaced. You give a little tug so that there's a little energy in it, and the elbows are drawing out to the side. And you've got that place, the hands just pressing into the center of the chest. This is the mudra of unshakable trust. So at this time where things are being released and falling away, whether it's the leaves on the trees, the fruits of the vine, the changing season, or something that you are needing to let go of, or being asked by the universe to let go of in your life, it's a great practice to invite in that quality of trust. What is it? I invite you to close your eyes and just let your mind rest on what it is that you can, in which you can place your trust. And breathe into that place in the center of the chest, right into that mudra. Whether it's trust in a higher power, trust in the natural order of things, trust in the natural unfolding of the universe to provide whatever it is that you need. That whatever is happening for your highest good, your benefit. And even if there's not really quite clear what it is that you can place your trust in, higher power, spirit, whatever it is, you can invite in a prayer to find that trust. And in that place of trust, I invite you to offer an intention, a prayer, or a dedication for today's practice. And let's use the traditional mantra, the sound of Om, to seal that prayer. Taking a deep breath in. Those who wish to can exhale with the sound of Om with me. Om. And letting the eyes open with a soft gaze, take a deep breath in. And exhale, turn the thumbs down, press the palms away, straighten the arms, and we'll take a little forward bend movement. Roll to the back end of your sit bones on your chair. I'll come onto my chair to do this with you. Fix my screen. So you're pressing away and feel that spreading behind the heart, between the shoulder blades. As you draw the navel in, drop the chin to the chest. Inhale, come centered on your sit bones as you reach up, and then a little bit forward on the sitting bones as you take a little bit of an arching back. So hands, even if you can't reach your hands as high as I can, just reach them as high as your shoulders will say yes to. And if your hands are up high above your head, pinkies draw back, lower ribs draw forward, arch back, look up, big breath. Exhale, come back again into that folding forward, chin to chest. Press the upper back behind you, the hands forward in front of you. Squeeze out all the breath as you draw the navel in. Inhale, reach up and take that back bend a little bit as you come forward on your sit bones. Reach hands back. Exhale, press the other way. So you're taking the cat-cow movements of your spine. If your arms get tired and you want to just bring your hands down to your knees and just take cat-cow movements rolling forward and back, you can do that instead. So listen to what your arms and shoulders say yes to. Otherwise, taking this little more invigorating, hands reach back, hands press forward, one more round. Exhale, press away. And inhale, reach up with the hands and release the fingertips. Float the hands down back behind you. Interlace your fingers. I'm going to turn sideways just so you can see, so that you can reach your hands back behind you. Let the shoulder blades try to kiss one another. If you need to use your strap, let me find what I did with my strap. It seemed, oh, here it is. If your elbows bend when you do this, take your strap and just bring a little space between your hands so that you can straighten the arms and explore the range of motion in your shoulders. Lifting, 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 spreading the heart nice and wide. And release, and give the shoulders a little shake out. And just turn the palms up for a moment and just feel all the energy in the arms, shoulders, chest, upper back. Once again, lengthen through the spine, root down through the tail, lift up through the crown of the head. And let's take the right arm, I'll mirror you, your right arm up to the sky, your left hand down beside you, just stabilizing yourself in the chair. Reach up without shrugging your shoulder up to the ear. So draw the shoulder down, yet reach the hand to the sky. Nice, long, lots of space on the right side of the body. Take it into your side bend. Reaching long and away. See if you can do that without bending the elbow. And maybe bending the elbow of the lower hand to invite a little deeper side bend. Both sit bones rooted. Inhale up to center and float that arm down. Notice the difference between one side and the other. Feel all the life force here on your right side. And then other side, reach up. Draw the shoulder down, reach the fingers skyward, root down with your left sit bone into the chair, and take it into your side bend here. Take a deep breath in to invite space between the ribs, reach long and away. Breathe and enjoy. One more deep breath in, and exhale, release. And here, arms reach and rise together. Exhale into a twist to your right. And your right hand can either come down beside you on the chair or to the back of your chair. Soften shoulders, lead with your heart. Exhale into the twist. Inhale up to center. Exhale, other side. Flowing side to side with breath. Here we're just inviting all of the essential movements of the spine. Side bends, twists, gentle forward bends and back bends. Letting the breath move the body so it's a meditation in motion. Inhaling up, exhaling into the twist. One more round each side. And notice if your twist changes a little bit with each repetition, if you notice any openings happening in the body. Leading with the heart, letting the head follow. A good practice to bring off of the mat, I think. Inhale up to center, palms come together, down the center line of the body, interlace your fingers, and come back into the mudra of unshakable trust. Just let your mind rest back there to whatever your intention was, or whatever place it is in your life where you need to invoke and invite in that sense of trust or faith. And then release the hands. And remember, last time we worked on eagle arms. So a few possibilities. I'm going to invite you, if you have a block. Actually, no, I don't think we actually need to use the block. We can do it without the block. To come into the pose of the eagle. Now, most of you will want to just try to work on the arms. The simplest expression of this is just to give yourself a hug, to spread behind the heart. And so reach your hands back behind you. See if you can walk your hands to touch your shoulder blades, your eagle arms. Others will have one arm underneath, the one elbow nestled into the other, palms turned up, and then bring either the backs of the hands together, thumbs point toward you, or if it's available, you can wrap your wrists, bringing the outside hand to the inside of your palm, either hooking thumb and pinky, or bringing your fingertips to the center of your palm, whatever's available here. And you want to invite the juice in a little bit by lifting the elbows. So again, you can just bring backs of your hands to one another, or you can just give yourself an embrace, and that gives you a little opening through the upper back. Now, if you want to take this into a full eagle pose, which involves wrapping the legs and the arms, if your left arm is underneath, wrap your left leg over your right. Again, this is optional. Nice and tight, so there's no space between your thighs. And then come up onto your right ball of your foot, so you lift your heel, and maybe you can tuck your left foot behind your right calf or ankle. Maybe not, but that's the full expression of eagle. Otherwise, just cross your legs as tight as you can. Lift your fingertips to the sky. So you get wrapped legs and wrapped arms in the pose of the eagle, Garudasana. Big breath in and exhale, release. Unwind your legs, shake them out for a moment. We'll take the other side. We'll first start with the arms. So you're going to wrap the other arm underneath, this time your right arm underneath, or whatever was the opposite of the side you were doing. You can give yourself a hug that way, or bring backs of the hands to one another. Thumbs point toward you. Notice how the top elbow is a little bit past. One elbow is nestled inside, but you want to get that upper arm a little bit past. And that's going to give you a little bit more stretch in the upper back. Either backs of the hands to one another, or hook thumb and fingers, or reach the fingers to the inside of the hand, if that feels available. Don't worry if it's not. A lot of us have a lot of tightness in the upper back and upper arms. Once you have your expression of eagle, see if you can lift the elbows to a little bit higher till you feel the juice, maybe finding some circles or playing with up and down and breathing into any tight places. And if you want to take the full eagle legs, if the right arm is underneath, then your right leg will wrap around. Wrap it nice and tight so you can't see any space between your legs. Come up onto the ball of the lower leg, so your left heel will lift, and see if you can wrap your foot around behind the ankle. Again, not everybody can do this, so don't worry if it's not available to you. Just showing you lots of options. And play with the fingers lifting high, elbows lifting to shoulder height. Big breath in. And when you're ready to release, slowly unfurl the arms, unwind the legs, and just take a few shoulder rolls. And since we're working with the theme of letting go, maybe there's something that you can offer off of your shoulders today as you roll up and back, and use the power of the breath to release. Yeah. And roll forward. do one more upper body practice before we begin to bring it down into the lower part of the body. I'd like to do some some neck releases, some wonderful neck stretches. So we're going to come back into your yogic seat, steady on your sit bones long through the spine, and reach up through the crown of the head. Imagine that cord of energy lifting you to the sky without lifting your chin. Keep the chin level. And then I'm going to invite you to float the right ear down to the right shoulder. Again, I'm mirroring you. And just let that ear melt toward the shoulder. Now you might feel a little kink on the right side of your neck. You might feel a deep stretch, some strong sensation on the left side of your neck. Just breathe into that and notice. And notice if there's a tendency to compensate for that strong sensation by shrugging one or both shoulders up to the ears. And see if you can keep the shoulders down away from the ears, stacked over the hips. If you want to deepen this, reach the left fingers down and away at a diagonal, so that with each exhale you invite the breath to release any tension, and imagine that that tension is running like a river down your left arm and out your fingertips. So we use the breath and we use the visualization of letting go and carrying away tightness, tension, restriction, to invite prana to flow there. If you want to deepen this, you can wrap your right arm around your head and cup your right hand around your left ear. Now, you're not wrapping your arm around your head to pull on it. You're just letting the weight of the arm give it a little bit more leverage for the stretch. And notice if your ear on the right side is naturally sinking down, if the edge is changing and you're getting a little more stretch there. Deep breaths here. Every out breath is an opportunity to release a little holding and tension. One more long, slow, deep breath. And then releasing the right hand, slide it around to your right cheek and help your head come up to center so you don't get a cramp from that after that deep stretch. So just give yourself a little help to come up to center, both hands down to the thighs to just notice the difference between the right side and the left side. Where do you notice more openness and freedom? Once again, lengthening up through the crown of the head and float the left ear down to the left shoulder. So here I'm going to invite you to pay attention as we hold this side, this stretch in the side of the neck, to notice if the edge or the sense of intensity in the stretch shifts and changes and melts a little bit. Right fingers down and away as the right side of the neck expands and the ear softens down toward the left shoulder. Again, you can visualize that rivulet of energy streaming down the arm and out the fingertips as the tension releases. You can wrap your left arm around your head without pulling. Just cup your right ear with your left hand, just to give it a little bit more leverage. This is optional. Finding the expansion and lengthening through the right side of the neck. Sending your breath to wherever it feels, wherever you notice tightness and restriction. Where we send our breath and our attention is where prana, life force, will flow. And then when you're ready, you can slide your left hand to your left cheek and just help the head to come up to center. And notice what's alive in you now. And we'll do one more neck stretch for the back of the neck. So I'm going to invite you to interlace your fingers like so behind your head and place the hands just at the ridge at the base of the skull, the occipital ridge. And invite the head to bow forward so the neck, so the chin comes down to that notch at the base of the throat. Now, the elbows often want to splay out to the side, but I want to invite a real sense of relaxation in the upper arms. So just let the elbows relax and hang down so that your wrists or lower arms, that area are going to frame your ears. And just let the chin melt down toward the top of the chest or toward that notch at the base of the throat without rounding the shoulders forward. So you're going to keep that long and lifted spine. It's just the cervical spine, the neck, that's going to come into flexion here or forward bend. And with a few more breaths, see if you can, without pulling, just invite, using the exhale, a release and a lengthening of the back of the neck with every exhale. The chin drawing down toward the chest. Notice how far down the upper back you feel this stretch. Maybe you feel it right between the shoulder blades or even lower down, the rhomboid area between the shoulder blades. One more long, deep breath in. Exhale to release into the depth of this stretch. And then unclasp the hands and just bring the hands to the cheeks to bring the head back up to center. Whenever I do this practice, I always feel a little taller. See if you can notice what shifted for you. Beautiful. And then let your feet come a little bit wider, hands on the thighs, and we'll just take some circles of the torso. So shifting your weight on your sitting bones side to side. Let those circles get bigger and bigger with the top of the head or the shoulders. Playing with your stability a little bit here. How wide can you make your circles? And then circle the other way. And let the circles become a little bit smaller, and a little bit smaller, and a little bit smaller, till you come back into stillness. Once again, lengthen up through the spine. And bring your feet as wide as you can apart, toes turned out about 45 degrees. We're coming into the goddess pose. Remember, you want to be forward toward the front edge of your chair and enjoy that nice opening of the hips and inner thighs here. Even and rooting down through your sit bones, lifting up through the crown, shoulders down and back. And come into your goddess arms. The elbows are at shoulder height, fingers pointing up. You can let your palms shine toward me in my direction or toward one another. And let the elbows draw back a little bit so you feel that spreading in the heart. So wide open hips, wide open heart. Long deep breaths in and out through the nose, filling all the way up into the chest. Exhaling all the way down to the belly. At the end of your exhale, you draw your navel in. And we'll do that practice of goddess embracing the world and embracing you. So inhale, reach out long and wide as you can to the ends of the universe. Exhale, cross the arms and bring the chin to the chest. Round the spine here, fold forward. Goddess embraces you. Inhale, open wide, expanding through the chest, and then cross the arms the other way. Let the goddess embrace you. Opening up, goddess embraces the universe. And then bring the hands down to the thighs, and we'll take a little shoulder dip twist. So bring your left shoulder down. As you press into your thighs, you're going to straighten your left arm. The left shoulder dips down. The right elbow is going to stay bent. And as you let that left shoulder drop down, roll the right shoulder back and look up at the sky if that's comfortable for your neck. So lengthen out through your spine, and then take a little spinal twist here as you look up over your right shoulder. Keep pressing into your thighs. And then come back up to center. Notice the difference between the right and the left. Now we're going to press into the right thigh, straightening your right arm, dipping, lengthening out first through your spine, and then dipping that right shoulder down, and roll the left shoulder open and back. Turn your gaze to look up at the sky if that feels comfortable. Keep dipping that right shoulder down, and release. Then you can bounce the legs back together. We're going to take a hip opener here. We've been doing figure 4 pose lying down for the first 2 classes. I'm going to invite you to do figure 4 pose in your chair today, so which is a nice hip opener and glute stretch. So we'll start on the right side. I'm going to invite you to first just draw your right thigh in toward your ribs. See if you can clasp your hands around either behind your thigh or around your shin, and staying long in the spine. Whatever is available to you. So if it's just clasping your hands around your thigh, that's fine. And then turning that knee out to the side, let just above your right ankle come to the center of your left thigh. So we're going to make a figure 4 here. So stay lifted in the spine, your shoulders over your hips, and you're going to notice perhaps some strong sensation just by doing this, and maybe your knee is going to be sticking up a little bit further than mine, and that's okay. You just go to the place where your body is meeting its edge, where it's feeling that sensation and that aliveness and that sense of, oh yeah, I feel it. But not to the place of pain. If you're noticing you're grimacing or tensing up in any posture, you want to see if you can soften it and back off a little bit from that place. If you want to go deeper with this stretch, you can take your right hand and just press it to the inside of your knee. So you got a little bit of more juice that you're feeling in the outside of the thigh, the iliotibial band, and the glutes here on the right side. If you need to back off of this a little, you can slide your left foot forward a little bit, which will bring that right knee down a little bit. Want to make sure that you're not sickling the foot, so you don't want to be making contact on your ankle. Make sure your right foot is past your left thigh. You can either stay here for a few breaths, or if you want to deepen it, you can fold forward a little bit, coming onto your forearms. Some of you may want to take it even deeper by folding over the leg. And one of the options here, I'm going to take an extra blanket here to demonstrate. You can take a blanket and place it over your figure 4 legs, maybe even folding it over a couple of times to give you some support for folding over the legs, going for the juice. Hands can hang down toward the floor, or some of you might want to place a block underneath in the medium or highest setting to support yourself. And just let the head hang down if that's comfortable. Taking 3 deep breaths here in your figure 4, whether you're folded over or whether you're just pressing into your inside of your knee, or whether you're on your forearms, or whether you're doing the absolute gentlest expression of the pose. Just use your awareness and your breath as a moment of inquiry. What's alive in you right now? This is a wonderful stretch for the hips and glutes and thighs. If you are folded over, you can bring your hands to your thighs to press yourself up slowly. Take your time. And then unwind your legs and notice the difference between one side and the other. And we'll come into figure 4 on the other side, remembering you want your ankle past the thigh that you're resting on, and your foot past that thigh. If you need to bring your right foot a little bit further forward to create a little more ease in this pose, that's fine. Otherwise, keep it underneath your knee. And find your centered, balanced seat on your sit bones. Lengthen up through the spine so we're not going into slouchasana. Lift the lower ribs away from the hips a little bit. And then you can take your left hand and just give it a little press to invite a little bit more juice and inquiry here. Breathing into any places that are tight or restricted. So what we're really doing is massaging with the breath into the stretch. If you want to take it deeper, come down onto your forearms, or using that folded blanket over your thighs so your belly has something a little more supportive to rest on, folding forward, or maybe folding forward all the way, letting your hands come down toward your foot or toward a block, letting the head hang down. And it's absolutely fine to do the gentlest, simplest expression of this pose, staying upright. This pose is really good for sciatica. It also stretches the piriformis muscle, which is a hard one to get to, deep inside the buttock. Lots of breath here. And when you're ready, you can bring your hands to your thighs if you're folded over to slowly invite a coming back up to a seated position. Unwind your legs and just kind of bounce them out a little bit here. Yeah. Okay. I want to introduce you today to the Warrior Two pose. We've been doing Warrior One. We did a couple of different expressions of Warrior One in past classes. Warrior Two invites that same sense of strength and fortitude and focus and courage wherever you need to bring warrior energy into your life, wherever you need to apply that sense of determination and focus. And yet, the Warrior Two invites an opening of the hip and an opening of the heart. So we're combining that sense of one-pointed focus and direction with a sense of openness and vulnerability. So what I invite you to do is to come on to take, I'll mirror you here, right thigh along the front edge of your chair so that your buttock and your thigh is supported on your chair. So maybe your knee will be a little bit more forward than mine if you have longer legs. And your left leg is going to extend straight out to the side. Try to keep your foot, your left foot, lined up with so that the instep of your left foot lines up with the heel of the right foot. If that doesn't work for you, if that feels a little tight for you to get into that stance, your foot can be a little bit more forward. But try to see if you can line it up. Your foot is flat, and your toes are turned in about 45 degrees. You're going to root down through the outer edge of your left foot. So I'm going to draw my camera a little bit closer so that you can see. It's a little funky with the lighting today. So your hip pointers are pointing straight in front of you, going in the same direction as the front of your chair, but your knee on the right side is pointing straight out to the side, and the outside edge of that right knee is drawing back to the back of your space, like so that your knee draws toward your pinky toe. So you get that nice opening in the hip. And then this leg, the other leg, the left leg powered up, rooting the foot down into the earth. So you've got that long line of energy. So try not to bend your knee if you can. Shoulders are stacked over hips. So you don't want to be leaning to one side or the other. So you've got that long line, that vertical line right through your core. Arms out to the side, palms down. Bring your fingers together. All right? So those arms are like the swords of intention, cutting through, especially if you have a decision that you need to make in your life. The sword of decision making, or cutting out whatever doesn't serve you. Turn your gaze to face your right hand and fix your gaze beyond. You're going to look beyond the middle finger on your right hand. So you're focusing your attention and intention out ahead of you, perhaps bringing to mind some area of your life where you have a goal that you're working toward. Warrior 2. Softening shoulders, spreading wide through the heart center, keeping your arms at shoulder height. Now we're going to take this pose into the archer pose. So turn your right palm so that it faces toward me, thumb up, and wrap your fingers around the imaginary front of the bow. We're going to draw the arrow back, bring the other hand, bring your left hand to meet the right hand. Pull back the bow right through the length of that arm, right through the heart center. Left elbow point straight out to the side, right through the heart. Feel the tension of intention. What it is, whatever it is in your life that you want to focus on, a goal or intention that you have. Take a deep breath in as you bring that into your mind and heart. Release, open the hands, and then turn your right palm up, lift it to the sky. Let the left hand support yourself either on the base of your chair or on your hip. Reaching up and feeling that nice side stretch through the right side body. Reach up, 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 and then back behind you. This is called the dancing warrior. So it's a beautiful side stretch here. Keep both feet anchored into the floor. So this is a gesture of letting go and releasing the fruits of your actions to the universe. You let your arrow go, then you let go of the results. Exhale back through your warrior 2. Arms at shoulder height. And release. Okay. Bounce the legs out. We're going to take it on the other side. So now the left thigh is going to come along the seat of your chair. Reach your right leg out in line, the heel in line with the instep of the foot if you can. Toes on the right side turned inward slightly. Hips turned toward the front, going in the same direction as the front edge of your chair. Shoulders over hips, long vertical line through the spine. And this knee, this left knee, is going to want to kind of slump in toward the center. So use the muscles in your outer thigh to draw the knee toward the back of your space so that the knee remains over the ankle and the lower leg is straight up and down. So engage your core, navel lifts in and up. This is called Uddiyana Bandha. Open through the heart center. Fingers come together, roll the shoulders down, so you're spreading wide open through the heart. Fix your gaze over that middle finger on the left side. So you want to keep that left knee drawing toward the pinky toe, both feet planted firmly in the earth, the crown of the head reaching skyward. What is it that you're needing to cut through in your life? You come into this warrior 2 pose, open heart, open hips. And then turn the palm to face me, thumb points up, wrap your fingers around the bow, bring the back hand to meet so your right hand comes and meets the left. Draw the bow back right through the length of your arm, right through the heart center. Elbow draws straight out to the side toward the right. Feel that tension. Really feel like you're pulling on the bow. Feel the tension before release of setting your intention, whatever that is, whatever your goal or prayer or intention is. And release and let go, opening the hands, turn the front palm, which is now the left hand, up. Stabilize yourself with the right hand on the chair, hand to your hip. Reach straight up. You can start by taking that side stretch, reaching straight up with your left hand, looking up at your left hand if that's comfortable. And if you can, juicing up that side bend, side stretch by reaching that upper hand back behind you without bending the elbow. So you're just, it may only go like an inch or so, but you're going to feel that nice stretch and opening through the rib cage on the left side. Exhale, release, and float the hands down, and come back to center. Bounce the legs back. Just take a moment to turn the palms up and notice the aliveness in your body. And notice what's been released, what you've opened up to. Check the time. Okay. I'm going to invite you to come to standing now and to come to the back of your chair. I'm turning it sideways just so that you have a better view. We're going to come to a downward dog pose with the option of coming into warrior 3. All right, so we're going to come to stand behind your chair in mountain alignment, shoulders over hips, hips over knees, knees over ankle, heart open, crown lengthened up to the sky. Without gripping the back of the chair, just gently, using the chair for a little bit of support, walk your feet back so that you have a long line through the upper back. And let the heart melt down toward the earth. The upper arms first start in line with the ears. So you have a long line through the back body. You can bend your knees a little if you need to, if your hamstrings are tight. Here's where you want to engage Uddiyana Bandha, abdominal lift. So the navel draws in and up, and visualize the abdominal muscles just drawing in toward the center to corset the spine as it lengthens. If you feel tightness in the backs of your legs, you can take a little bend in the knees. Keep the feet flat and the toes pointing straight ahead. Heart melts down. If you want to release the head, you can do that. Feel that wonderful lengthening through the upper back, arms, chest, side body. Spread the sit bones apart like you're fanning peacock feathers. And then press into the back of the chair. Slowly walk yourself back to standing. Notice what's alive in the torso, the arms, the upper back, shoulders. Let's step back and do that again. This time I'm going to give you the option to lift one leg. So we're going to come into one long horizontal line through the back body. So walk back into your downward facing dog so that your arms are as straight as you can comfortably get them. And you've got that long horizontal line through the upper back, through the arms and upper back. And then slowly reach your left foot. You can really start with any foot you want, but I'm going to reach my left foot back and reach my toes, touch my toes a little further back in my space. If it's comfortable for you, see if you can lift that leg, maybe part way or all the way to the body being in one long line. If you need to take a little bend, a micro bend in the standing knee, that's okay to keep your knee from locking and hyperextending. Knee points straight down, toes can reach back behind you, one long line through the body, and then exhale, float that leg down. Try it on the other side. Reach back, either just reaching back with your toes, lifting maybe an inch or two off of the mat, or off of the floor rather, or you can lift a little bit higher if it's available, or bringing that leg into one long straight line, point your toes back, knee point straight down, long line. So you're going to energize the glutes here. It also energizes the core, and float that leg back down. And soften the knees as you walk forward into back to mountain pose. Notice where you feel tingling, pulsing, sensation, aliveness in the body. Come to the side of your chair. And standing in mountain pose, we're going to walk the tightrope. So from here, you're going to start with your feet hip-width apart. You can have fingertips gently supporting you on the side of your chair if you need to. And bring your, if you're standing on the right side of your chair, bring your right foot in front of your left so that the tippy toes on your left foot, the back foot of the first big toe and the second toe touch your heel. Square your hips so you're on that tightrope, and fix your gaze into a drishti point or a focal point a few feet in front of you on the tightrope. You can make the sound of one hand clapping, like we've done before, or you can bring your hands into prayer. This actually is a lot more challenging than it looks, to stay steady and balanced on your tightrope. And if you want to play with this, you can maybe play with that mudra of unshakable trust here, interlacing your fingers and drawing the elbows out to the side. And if you find that this is easy peasy for you, try closing the eyes. See if you can stay balanced. Notice if you're holding the breath. If you feel a little unsteady, notice if you're tightening in your throat or holding your breath or tightening in your shoulders, and see if you can soften into that unshakable trust. That even though you're up on that, as the song goes, up on the high wire, one side's ice and one is fire, great metaphor for life, that you are supported. You have the ability to stay in balance. And you always have that chair there as your safety net. When you're ready to release, come back to your mountain pose. Maybe shake out one leg. Shake out the other leg. And if you really want to try an interesting experiment, shake out both legs at the same time. And then when you're ready, come over to the other side in your mountain pose. So your hip is right next to the back of your chair, so you can easily just place your hand down there for your support. Now the left foot comes in front of the right, big toe and second toe touching the heel, hips squared to the front. You want to also root your tailbone down. So you're finding that anchoring as if that tap root from the tailbone is going right down into the earth, even if you're 50 feet up on the tightrope. It roots you down into the earth energetically. All right? So square your hips so you're lengthening through the low back, and either hands in prayer or one hand clapping, as they say in Zen, or in your Vajra Pradama Mudra, the mudra of unshakable trust. As you're up on that tightrope, navigating through all the polarities of life, light and dark, praise and blame, success and failure, joy and sorrow, light and dark, you have that trust. Staying centered, right in the middle. If you want to close your eyes, if that's available, that may not be right for everybody, but if you're needing a little more challenge, you can do that in walking your tightrope. And release when you're ready. Come back into mountain. Give a little shake. Any wiggles and waggles that feel good here. And I like to transition down now to the mat. So I'll give you a moment to, if you need to move things around in your space, have a blanket spread out, have your bolster or rolled up blanket or pillow nearby, so you'll be comfortable and supported, and come to lie down on your back. Take your time. And once you find your way on your back, I'm going to invite you to come into the pose of self-embrace, just hugging the thighs in toward the rib cage. You can either interlace your fingers or wrap hands around, bring hands to opposite elbows, or just hands on shins, hands behind thighs, wherever you can find some access to drawing your thighs in toward your ribs. At the same time, you want to point your tailbone toward the end of your mat so that your sacrum presses down into the floor. Let's try to rock side to side in this Apanasana self-love pose. Little massage of the spine. Just let the back of the head comfortably rest on the mat. And I'm going to invite you to come back to centered on your back and place your feet down so that they're flat and the knees are pointing straight up. We're going to take a bridge pose today, and we're going to do some rolling up and down of the spine before we come into the full expression of bridge. You want your feet to be about hip-width apart, so line up your heels with the center of the buttocks. And see if you can draw your heels as close enough to the buttocks so that if your hands, when you place your hands down by your sides, you can bring your middle finger, your longest finger, to touch the back of your heel. Your heel doesn't need to touch your buttock, but you want to try to have the tip of your finger touching your heel. All right, that will keep your knees lined up with the ankles when you lift up into bridge. And don't worry if you can't quite reach. Just bring it as close as you comfortably can. Walk your hands toward your feet and melt the backs of the shoulders and the back of the head into the mat, palms down. Knees pointed straight up. We want to be aware not to let them splay out, so keep the feet flat. I'm going to invite you to imagine that your spine is a string of pearls, and you're going to lift it up one pearl at a time, one vertebra at a time. So tilting the pelvis so you lift the tail, lift the sacrum, which are several pearls fused together. Roll up through the lumbar spine, one vertebra at a time, rolling up through the middle back, rolling up through the upper back, as far as you can lift till you get between the shoulder blades lifted off. And then on the exhale, rolling down. See if you can isolate one vertebra at a time, rolling each pearl on the necklace down till the sacrum rests flat and you're back in that preparatory pose. Taking the whole in-breath to lift the pelvis, lift the low back, lift the middle back, lift the upper back between the shoulder blades, lift the heart a little bit higher toward the base of the chin, and then exhale toward the chin, and then roll down one vertebra at a time, lowering that string of pearls. When we go slowly like this and isolate each vertebra, we're actually strengthening our abdominal muscles at the same time and building body awareness. So again, rolling up, inhaling, rolling down, exhaling. You can go slower than me if you need to, taking your time. And I invite you to do 2 more rounds of that at your own pace, letting your own breath move the body. finding the lift that's available to you in your body as the hips lift. Heart expands. And rolling down. So you're lifting up from bottom to top and you're rolling down from between the shoulder blades down the spine. Pressing the hands into the mat or blanket beside you to help you with a little bit of lift. And the next time you roll up, I'm going to invite you to hold for 3 to 5 deep breaths in what's called the bridge pose. So rolling up, keeping your knees straight up, planted over the ankles. So the inner thighs are going to stay active toward the midline so that the knees don't splay out. See if you can lift the hips higher than the heart and get the heart to press the top of the chest, to press toward the chin. You can either stay here with your hands by your sides, or you can try to tuck the shoulder blades toward one another and interlace the fingers under the body. That's a little bit more advanced practice. Not really advanced, but for those of you who are a little more experienced, you can do that. Spread the heart. Keep lifting the hips, lifting those hip pointers to the sky. Lifting the hips higher than the heart. Heart presses toward the chin. You don't want to press the chin toward the chest. You want to let the chest come to meet the chin. Squeeze the shoulder blades together. Breathe in and out through the nose. Nice, deep, long yogic breaths. And if you feel ready to release, you'd unclasp your hands. If they're clasped, and roll down that same way, one pearl at a time. Lowering down. Once your sacrum is planted into the mat, we're going to come back into that Apanasana pose, hugging your thighs in toward your rib cage. And we'll take it from here into the happy baby pose. You can either stay like this, or if it's available, bring the soles of the feet to face the sky and widen the knees as wide as you can so that the thighs come down on either side of your rib cage. So your legs are kind of making an L shape. You can grab either your ankles, or you can grab the insides of your feet, or you can grab your big toes to try to draw the knees down on either side of the ribs. And if you can, your thighs will come down to hug the sides of your rib cage. So your knees need to be nice and wide. Soles of the feet face the sky. This is called the happy baby pose. You're relaxing your shoulders and the back of your head into the mat. If it pulls your shoulders and your head off the mat to reach your feet, then do it, just grab around your ankles. You want to press the sacrum down into the mat so the low back lengthens. And then you can play here in Happy Baby, either just rocking side to side, or sending one foot to the sky, lengthening one leg and the other, as you get to be a playful baby. If you really want to get into this Happy Baby idea, you can put your big toe in your mouth, or make baby sounds. And I love this pose because it reminds me that every single one of us, including you, started out as this happy baby that had nothing but love and curiosity before we developed an ego that compared ourselves with other beings or thought that we weren't good enough. Before that part of your mind existed, you were just this happy baby that was just delighting in all the experiences of being alive. And that happy baby is still alive in you. And our yoga is about discovering that, reconnecting with that happy baby, that egoless state. And then bring the soles of the feet together. And let the soles of the feet rest rather, the soles of the feet face one another, but the outside edges of the feet rest on the mat, and the knees splay out like a diamond in your supine bound angle. So if you need to place something underneath your thighs, if this feels like a pretty intense hip opener, you can do that. The thighs opening. So you can place a rolled up blanket or block underneath your thigh. You can bring your hands to your belly, or one hand to the belly, one hand to the heart, to follow the movement of your breath. In and out through the nose. I want to offer you this beautiful reading by Thich Nhat Hanh, as you just let this posture invite an opening in the hips. Whoops. So these are the words of Thich Nhat Hanh. One autumn day, I was in a park, absorbed in the contemplation of a very small but beautiful leaf in the shape of a heart. Its color was almost red, and it was barely hanging on the branch, nearly ready to fall down. I spent a long time with it, and I asked the leaf a lot of questions. I asked the leaf whether it was scared because it was autumn and the other leaves were falling. The leaf told me no. During the whole spring and summer, I was very alive. I worked hard and helped nourish the tree, and much of me is in the tree. Please do not say that I am just this form, because the form of leaf is only a tiny part of me. I am the whole tree. I know that I am already inside the tree, and when I go back into the soil, I will continue to nourish the tree. That's why I do not worry. As I leave this branch and float to the ground, I will wave to the tree and tell her, I will see you again very soon. Suddenly I saw a kind of wisdom very much like the wisdom contained in the Heart Sutra. You have to see life. You should not say life of the leaf. You should only speak of life in the leaf and life in the tree. My life is just life, with a capital L. And you can see it in me and in the tree. That day there was a wind blowing, and after a while I saw the leaf leave the branch and float down to the soil, dancing joyfully. Because as it floated, it saw itself already there in the tree. It was so happy. I bowed my head, and I knew that we have a lot to learn from the leaf. I invite you to bring your hands to the outside of your thighs and invite your thighs to come together. Give yourself another hug and apanasana, another self-embrace. And then let the knees come to hip height and arms out to T. Just let the knees fall down to one side so you come into a spinal twist. Take a long, slow, deep breath there. Melting both shoulders into the mat. Press your toes into the mat to invite the knees to come up to center. And let the knees come to the other side, knees in line with the pelvis, legs in an L shape, backs of both shoulders melting into the mat. Another long, slow, deep breath in here. and let it go. And bring the knees back up to center. And I invite you to find the body, let the body come into Shavasana, corpse pose. You may want to place a pillow or rolled up blanket or bolster under the knees. Turn the palms up, arms 45 degrees from the body, and let the backs of the shoulders soften into the earth. Let the eyes close. I'm going to invite you to let your back body, the backs of the shoulders, the spine, the sacrum, the buttocks, the backs of the legs, soften and release into the mat, just like the letting go of that leaf that floated off from the branch. The tree didn't cast it off or throw it off. It didn't need to yank itself off. It simply released into a very natural process of letting go with complete trust that that letting go is absolutely safe. In that same way, I invite you to allow your body to soften into the support of the earth. Release any control of the breath and just allow the breath to find its own natural rhythm. The goldenrod is bursting like a fire on the hill, another sign that summer's winding down. Bright red berries, round and lush, peer out from the thorny brush. They are the kind that I can't touch, they fall to the ground. The black-eyed Susan stretched to see the thistle's purple majesty, and Queen Anne folds her lace into a crown. Wildflowers, wildflowers, they don't question why they live. Their simple beauty is the gift they give. Sometimes I wonder why I'm here. My path in life seems so unclear. What is the work that I must do to keep my beauty shining through? My eyes turn to the pink sky in the west. To be alive, I am so blessed. But that is my humble opinion. We each come to earth as an honored guest, our souls put to a loving test. We have purpose, but we do not have dominion. Wild flowers, we are like wild flowers. We long to let our colors show, for in the light is how we live and grow. Each blossom is a miracle to see, but cannot grow without the bee. A tiny deva spreading angel wings, and like the bee connects each flower, we are joined by a loving power from heart to heart. This love connects all beings. Come drink the nectar from my soul and watch the miracle unfold, and then surrender to the cold. We give our petals to the winter wind. Wild flowers, wild flowers. I dedicate my life to sow the seeds of loving kindness in my soul. Slowly begin to deepen your breath and bring some movement into your fingers and into your toes. Maybe taking a stretch like you're just waking up, reaching your hands back behind you, toes in front of you. Just make the body long. Big breath in. And you can exhale, gather the knees in toward the chest to roll over onto your side. And if it feels easy and available for you to come up to seated posture, you can do that. Otherwise, you can hang out here on your side in your fetal pose if you find that easier for you. Otherwise, those who can come up either to a comfortable seated cross-legged position or to find your way back up onto your chair, if that's available. And come back into that mudra of unshakable trust, interlacing your fingers in front of the heart. Give a little tug on the fingers so the elbows go out to the side. We take that sense of faith and trust into our day and into our lives until we meet again. Trusting that whatever needs to be let go is safe to let go, and whatever will come in to fill that space is exactly what is needed right now for our own growth and well-being. A deep breath in through the nose. Those of you who wish to can exhale with me to the sound of Om to seal our practice. Hands come to prayer. Namaste. Yeah. Thank you, everyone. You can come off mute if you would like.
Thank you so much, Jyoti.
Thank you.
That was great. That was fabulous.
Yeah, there may have been some challenging things for some of you, and that's fine. So you just remember, do what's joyful for you, and you can play with it a little more as you work with the videos. If it didn't feel available today, maybe it will after a few times with the video. I'll be sending that out hopefully later today.
That was great.
Yeah,
Great.
so happy to practice with you. All right, everyone.
Thank
Go
you.
enjoy this beautiful fall day.
Thanks.
Namaste.
Namaste.
My dog's barking, so I gotta go. Bye.
Yogi for me.